It'll be interesting to see which option works better today, the slightly longer run or clambering over the trees.
Because the level's been like this for 3 weeks, we've all practiced our portaging. Yeah, ready.
So I think it's just going to be physically all over, very demanding.
No, I think this canoe can only fit one person.
The control instruments, Berg River Canoe Marathon 2000. It's the start of the Millennium Berg River Canoe Marathon. A crisp and cold morning sees the spectators huddled together on the Mark Street Bridge waiting for the starter's gun. This year, the low water levels mean that day one could be the longest leg of the control instruments Berg River Canoe Marathon. Starting in Paarl, the first overnight stop is at Sankwas Drift, 59 kilometers away. The river hasn't been this low on race day since 1978, when the Omaner like Andre Collins, Phil van Deventer and JT Besson had to portage 600 meters from the first weir to the second weir. Coming up to the first weir, the bunch will break left and right, with most of the top guys sticking together. This year's race comprised 273 competitors, of which only 30 have completed more than 10 Berg River Canoe Marathons. For 86 paddlers, this is their first time. First over the weir is Hank McGregor, SA Sprint Champ and Junior World Marathon Champion in 1996. This is only his second Berg. Slotting into second position behind McGregor is Jacques Turon from Dabula Manzi Canoe Club in Gauteng. He is one of the top contenders for this year's race. The field is wide open. The men are sorting themselves from the boys. Turon has edged himself into the lead. He knows the river and has 6 Bergs under his belt. Behind him, Graham Solomon, Lee McGregor, Hank McGregor and veteran paddler Graham Monteith make up the first bunch. The rest of the field are cheered into position. The morning is an undeclared festival for the workforce in Paarl, laughing and yelling well-intentioned abuse, urging the field on. Donnie Maladaba leads the second bunch. He's been bridesmaid to the Berg more times than he cares to remember. This is not where he wants to be. He wants to win this one. Maynard Murray and Peter Cole are also some of the favorites for this race. Here comes Alan Nelson, one of the backmarkers, and like hundreds of others, this race is about personal challenge and achievement. The race is on with Monteith in the lead ahead of Jacques Turon. The father and son team of Lee and Hank McGregor are already working together and are 2 minutes off the pace. This is Monteith's 28th consecutive Berg. He's won it, come second, come third, and is a favorite to win the race. For the supporters following the race, however, this event is about braaiing on the banks of the river, taking time off for a meandering drive through the winelands of the Western Cape, seconding their heroes and experiencing the traditional hospitality of the Swartlands. At this point, the men have a 14-minute lead on the ladies. Heading up the ladies is Jean Wilson. She has 7 wins to her name. Hot on her heels is Antje Malarba, paddling for Wits University. She has 2 wins and would dearly like to regain her title. Meanwhile, Alexa Lombard is working her way through the field in 3rd spot. And for the locals, this is a mighty fun time. Water levels this year are extremely low, second lowest to 1978. And the Gauteng paddlers, Monteith and Turon, are working well together, hoping to win the newly introduced interprovincial team prize of 16,000 rands. Meanwhile, father and son remain in contention as they go through the Squilky Bridge. The second bunch with Malarba, Moray Wilson, Maynard Murray and Peter Cole in the middle are riding each other's wakes and doing everything possible to pull in the leaders. The lack of water has made for a technically difficult and bony Berg.
It was crazy. It was a shambles. And 1 minute you're in the boat, next minute you're out. And then one stage we just we all came to one tree block and we all got out. And I think I ran a little bit further than everybody else. And not that I knew where I was running to, but I got in somehow. And I didn't actually know I was in front until somebody actually told me. And from Herman Bridge it was like an hour 20, and they were 40 seconds behind, and they stayed 40 seconds behind.
A sprained ankle means that Peter Cole's hopes of winning this Berg are over. But in the spirit of the event, he is determined to see it through to the end, and he'll probably finish. Last year's winner, Michael Cheeseman in the yellow jersey, has been studying for his doctorate and wasn't able to put in the hours on the water. Jacques Turon and Graham Monteith regroup and continue to push the pace.
Ek sê die aarde is groot, sterre is klein, net ek het dus in die woestijn. Wakker endurance, Santa Alvin. Je kan niet oorskes, je staat te zijn niks in. Baskets en bulldog, ja, kus de Veskersklub. Baskets en bulldog, ja, kus de Veskersklub. Baskets en bulldog, ja, kus de Veskersklub.
And while the battle rages on, Hank seems to have found a better route and finishes first on day one, to the confusion and disbelief of Jacques, Donnie, Monty and the spectators. Gene Wilson takes first place, with Antje Malherbe taking second.
It was one of the longest races I've ever done, and hopefully tomorrow's a lot shorter.
The end of the day heralds time to face the pain, repair the boats and have fun in preparation for tomorrow. At this stage, well, there's nothing in it. The first four positions are within a minute of each other. McGregor is barely 42 seconds ahead of Turon, who's only 1 second ahead of Monty. Gene Wilson has established a comfortable 17-minute lead. The perfect weather conditions of day one continue on day two. The new leader, Hank McGregor, accepts the yellow jersey, and Gene Wilson will set the pace for the ladies. Day two of the Control Instruments Berg River Canoe Marathon from Zonquas Drift to Bridgetown.
One, go.
The question being asked is, will Hank McGregor hold on to his narrow lead? Less than a minute behind him is Jacques Turon, Graham Monteith and Donnie Malherbe. They start their chase. For Gene Wilson, the start is a war zone. She has to fight her way ahead of the pack, and for her there are no special privileges. One mistake here could spell disaster and lose the 17-minute lead from day one. The second day is underway. Within minutes, the chasing bunch have hauled in McGregor. The three men from Gauteng will now try and stamp their authority on the river. Without any support, Hank will bear the brunt of the Gauteng team. There is no mercy on this river, and McGregor's hijacked on the corner. Coming up for Gouda Bridge, and not very far off the pace, Maynard Murray and Moray Wilson stay in contention. Positions are constantly lost and won. A broken rudder means Lee McGregor has fallen off the pace. Hank will remain on his own for the rest of the day. Maria closes the gap while Wilson takes on the trees. The narrow, shallow channels make day two a nightmare of negotiating dense vegetation, something that Ironman Henk Wademeyer has come to know in previous bergs. A bloodied Antje has paid the price for fighting through the tree blockages into first place, but will she hold it? The determination on Gene Wilson is unmistakable. As long as she stays within striking distance of Antje, she is still the leader overall. 3 minutes further behind is Alexa Lombard. With a slight breeze picking up and blowing in from over the Swartberg, is there possibly rain on the way? The development paddling program has started to show some real results. This is Moses Africa's first berg, and he's well up in the field. Back with the ladies, here's Jeanette Welder. She's in 5th position and has been consistent throughout the race.
We don't have the time trial on the third day anymore, so in the place of that, the guys start on elapsed time on the second day. In other words, they start on the second day as they came in on the first day. First guy leaving first, and then second guy following with whatever is behind the first guy, and so on. That's for the guys that basically lies in the first 45 minutes or so. And then we also changed the last day. They'll start first at 8:30, and when they get to Kliphoek, which is about an hour and 20 minutes from the finish, we'll take them out of the water, and then we'll take the total time to Kliphoek, and then the first guy will leave first, and the guys following as they came in or where they're lying up to that point in the race. So whoever gets to Port Owen first actually wins the race, and I think that's fantastic. It will make it much more interesting for the spectators as well as for the media.
With positions changed once again, Gene is a few seconds ahead of Antje as they make their way to Driegeelsweer. In close contention, Alexa Lombard remains in third position. In previous years, with the river being wider, there was no reason for paddlers to be forced into narrow channels. This is Rainer Armdorf paddling his way to a top 40 slot. With the northwester picking up, it's a sure indication of bad weather on the way. It's the sprint to the finish at Bridgetown. At the end of day 2 sees a clash of paddles and rising tension amongst the top 3 contenders. The heat is on to see who will win this ultimate challenge of the Berg River. It is Donnie Malherbe's day as he takes the leader's yellow jersey from Hank McGregor. Trailing the leaders by 8 minutes, Graham Monteith finishes in 5th position in day 2. Jean Wilson maintains her comfortable lead of 5 minutes ahead of Antje Malherbe.
The whole race today was very, very hard. There was a lot of infighting. Fortunately, I didn't get involved in too much of the battles, but there was a lot of fighting between the two Transvaalers and Hank McGregor. And towards the end, I actually didn't have such a nice race because my glucose ran out at Gouda Bridge. And I paddled without glucose for the whole of the for that part of the race. Fortunately, I had a little bit of chocolate with me, and 10 kilometers from the finish, I had a quick bite, and that helped. And I must say, I'm very surprised that I outsprinted Hank, as he's probably one of the quickest paddlers in the country. I'm very surprised, and it's probably a sign of him not being as strong as everybody thought.
With rain on the way, the bonfire, the rooiwijn and a massage were the order of the day.
What we're doing here is just doing quite light, gentle, releasing massage to loosen up the muscles to prepare them for the next day.
It's a matter of hundredths of a second. After 2 grueling days, there is no clear winner. The race could go to any of the top 5 on the leaderboard. As for the ladies, it seems to be a 3-way race. From dust to mud. Misverstandam, the start of a cold and miserable day 3. Sunshine of the previous day has been replaced by lashing downpours and headwinds. It'll be a long and difficult haul for paddlers and seconds to Soutkloof. Donnie Malherbe accepts the leader's yellow jersey. Due to strong winds, a last-minute decision is made to sprint the paddlers directly to the dam wall. Hank McGregor surfs his way onto the bank for a compulsory portage down to the river at the base of the dam wall. Antje Malherbe, previous world marathon champion, leads Alexa Lombard and Jean Wilson to the water. In the past, Gauteng paddlers have set the pace and been in a position to work as a team and protect each other. This year, we see Lee McGregor sacrificing himself to provide a good slip for his son Hank. Spectators at Die Berg greet Jean Wilson, who is supported by fellow paddlers. Maintaining 4th position, Berg novice Abby Medema is having the race of her life. The Berg River Canoe Marathon is not just about winning, it's also about finishing. This is arguably the toughest canoe marathon in the world. For most canoeists, completing the Berg is a sought-after milestone. Especially for these 3 paddlers who are coming in stone last but are hanging in to the end. Moravia Bridge, a third of the way on day 3. The leading group is unchanged as Springbok paddler Graham Solomon leads the way. Not far behind are Graham Monteith, Mornay Forster and Maynard Murray. Coming up to the next low-level bridge, Jacques Theron is just off the pace as Hank leads the portage doggedly, followed by Malherbe and Solomon. Barefoot and cold, these paddlers know the making of a mistake at a portage could cost dearly. On land, the seconds have a challenge of their own. The dirt roads have turned to slush, and the better equipped are able to reach seconding points in time. Coming on to Tuindrift, McGregor and Malherbe have made a break. Monteith and Theron form a new diamond, steadily closing the gap. The compulsory portage is a fleeting chance for the seconds to feed the weary paddler. Earlier, Maynard Murray and a few others attempted to shoot the pipe, but came away with gaping holes in their heads. The Berg attracts the young and the old. Yanni Malherbe, father of Donny, enjoys his 28th Berg. So at Cliff, the end of day 3 sees the top 3 paddlers sprinting to the line. Jacques Theron manages to close the gap thanks to the efforts of veteran Graham Monteith. Jean Wilson finishes the day off strongly, followed by Alexa Lombard and Antje Malherbe.
Antje Malherbe just finishing. Third lady now. Far back was
I had my father there, he was my teammate, and basically the first 2 hours of the race was all his, and he just basically made everybody else work really hard, and he blew himself right out of the race. So I owe him today's stage to my dad. I mean, I don't think I could have done it without him.
It's been a hard 3 days. The bad weather keeps moving in. While some tend to washing, others tend to wounds. For the first time in the history of the Berg River Canoe Marathon, our leaders are joint leaders to the 100th of a second. There will be no yellow jersey on the river on day 4. Jean Wilson has increased her lead to more than half an hour. There is no place like the Western Cape. The sights and sounds of the West Coast are just one stage away. Day 4, the final day of the ultimate challenge, is broken into 2 stages. The start at Kersfontein moves through to Kliphoek, where the paddlers will rest for 15 minutes, then leaving on elapsed time to finish at Veldhoek. Enjoying a slight reprieve from the rain, the race sets off to Kliphoek. Not to be left in the rain, the rest of the field comes charging on.
I assume that I think that definitely these 3 boats will be together, myself, Donny Malherbe and McGregor. It'll probably end up being an end sprint at Veldhoek.
In 1978, the prevailing headwinds forced more than 50 paddlers to bail out on the last day. Today's headwinds are gusting in excess of 35 knots. A wind chill factor has pushed the mercury down to below 5 degrees. Hypothermia is now a real concern. Kliphoek is also the start for the touring class paddlers, who hope to get a taste of the Berg and maybe accept the wheel challenge another day. Things couldn't be closer. First place is now shared by 3 paddlers, Hank McGregor, Jacques Turon and Donny Malherbe, closely followed by Graham Monteith in 4th place. Exhausted paddlers lap up the 15-minute break before starting out to finish at Veldrift. With an estimated 1 hour and 20 minutes left, it is now a matter of cat and mouse to the end. An abandoned Graham Monteith sets off in miserable conditions in pursuit of the leaders. Die Hard Maynard Marais, 6-time winner of this race, grinds on to complete this year's challenge. Hank McGregor's gamble has paid off. When Donny and Jacques decided to portage over a sandbank, Hank opted for a risky, shallow channel to the right. This gained him a small 20-meter gap, which he forced open as he fought his way towards the finishing line only 2 kilometers away. Frustrated and demoralized, Donny Malherbe once again finds himself fighting for 2nd place. Even the storm couldn't keep the media and spectators from cheering in the new and youngest champion. Hank McGregor weathered the storm over the last 4 days. This Berg River will go down as one of the toughest races ever for him and all the competitors. Victory, the podium and 25,000 rands belongs to this young man. Again, the winning honours have eluded Donny Malherbe, as he once again comes in as the bridesmaid of the Berg ahead of Jacques Turon.
It was just such a relief to see the finish line and realise that it was all over, and it's just a great feeling, especially for my family and basically my dad. It's the 2 of us been racing for years, and it's one of the victories that we've always wanted to win, and today it's a really special day. I'd like to thank all my friends and my sponsors and Men's Health and the rest of you guys. Has been great.
It's going to have to take somebody really, really special to knock Jean Wilson off the podium as she collects her 7th gold medal.
Well, I was a bit worried, but there wasn't much I could do. I was feeling very tired today, so I thought I had quite a cushion, about 30 minutes, and so I just wanted to try and keep the pace up as much as possible. And then we had a bit of a disaster with going the wrong way and ended up together in the end anyway.
2 times winner Antje Malherbe settles for 2nd spot. Abby Medima's efforts on the day secure her 4th place overall, but it's Alexa Lombard on the left who will take her place on the podium. Sheer guts, determination and teamwork won the day. The race was won by all those that finished and those that helped them get there. I'm sure many, many more will meet the challenge of 2001. This year's Control Instruments Berg River Canoe Marathon will go down in history as one of the toughest Berg River marathons ever.
Stop,